to ASMcaR. The mic is on, and away we go. Today, we are going to be going over the Formula One Pirelli United States Grand Prix official program. That was $20, and I guarantee this year it'll be 25 or 30. So this was from 2024, last year, at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, and it was from the 18th through the 20th of October. So this was the United States Grand Prix that takes place in Austin, Texas every year. So I actually went to this race, and if any of you have been to the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas, you will know that this hill right here is turn 1. So there's an elevation. I'm like literally groping this guy. Let's ignore the guy for a second. There's the starting grid right here, and there's a huge elevation change that goes all the way up to turn 1, and then it goes down a hill. But you can see right here, this is where everyone gathers if you have general admission tickets, and then there's bleachers and seats up here. And over here there's more like PR and like a sweet kind of like influencer rich people that don't care about the race. But so I went. So my birthday is during this week, and that's all I wanted to do for my birthday was go to this. I live in Austin, Texas, and so I bought a 3-day general admission pass, and I think it was like $350 on like at Costco or something. And I had no idea what to expect, but I had been following Formula One for the entire year before it came to Austin. And so that's what I wanted to do. And I went by myself, and it was one of the best experiences. I'll put some photos of me right here and right here. And honestly, it was so fun. But during the race, so Austin, the United States Grand Prix, is a sprint weekend. And so there's 2 races, if you're not familiar with that. And so for the first race, I sat at the S's, like after turn 3. And then during the Grand Prix, I moved around. I started in the same position, like right before the S's, like right after turn 2. So like over here. And then I started walking. I ended up like right here. I'll try to see if I can put a video right here. But I was like standing like right on the gate, and it's not a great spot to watch the race. You're just watching cars go up a hill, but I mean, for what I paid for and the ability to move around the circuit, it was a really cool experience. And then I got to like rush the reason I went over here was really because I wanted to go on the track for So you see after every race, fans rushing the circuit to go to the podium to watch the presentation of the trophies and the national anthems. And so that's really why I wanted to be close to the starting line so I could get a good spot, but it was a really cool experience. Anyway, okay, so I got this program at the race because I knew that I was going to want it. And honestly, I have not really, I looked through it when I was there a little bit, but I didn't. Look how pretty he is. Oh my god. I open up right to like the most attractive guy. Okay. Anyway, like it's a shame. Like why do men like that exist? Like it's not fair to the rest of us. Anyway, yeah, I bought this because I knew I wanted something that would live on more than a shirt or a hat, which I got both. But yeah, so I thought this would be a really cool thing to go through together. Yeah. Also, I wanted to say thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far. I took the last 2 weeks off. I went and ran a race in Indianapolis, which I have made a really cool video. I went to the Indianapolis Museum, or the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum, and did a whole walkthrough. So I'm working on a voiceover right now. I've never done a voiceover, so it's taking me some time, but I'm going to release that on Sunday, this coming Sunday, before the Indianapolis 500. So if you aren't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification button so that you know when that gets posted. But to everyone that has supported me up until this point, this is a new channel, and I was releasing videos pretty much every day throughout the week, and I want to get back to that schedule. It just has been crazy with life and traveling, and my dog got sick and I had to take her to the vet, and it's been a lot. So I appreciate you giving me the space to take some time off, but I'm very excited to start making more videos. I have so much more that I'm planning. So this confetti was released at the end of the Grand Prix, and I saved it, and I guess I just put it in here so I would not, I guess, forget it, or I don't know, but yeah, that was from the podium, I believe. Monaco is coming up in like next week. Next week is Monaco. So here we have just the index. Also, is it weird for me? Like, I guess this OCD, this has like a little seam here that you can, like a crease that you can fold over, but I don't know. Same with books. Like, I just want it to be like perfect all the time, so I'm never the one to like to fold it down. Are you guys like that? I don't know. I just hit that mic. Sorry. Anyway, okay. So we have a welcome, a timetable, Hall of Fame, what's on, championship standings, F1 entry list, Singapore in Pictures Grand Prix preview, F1 statistics, Ferrari stateside, cutting edge, car hero, Penske PC4, American heroes, F1 fan zone, driver hero, Zach Brown at McLaren, Haas moving forward. So, why is Zach Brown in everything? I love McLaren. I'm going to, if you don't like McLaren, that's fine. Welcome. Anyone, even if you're a Red football fan, I am welcoming you. Why is Zach Brown in everything right now? Little bitch is pissing me off. Too much. Too much. Okay. So, this took you through the schedule. So this is like truly a program like you would get at a school concert when you were in choir or in band. If you were in choir or band, leave a comment. In school, you like saved your programs. But anyway, Friday, October 18th, Saturday, October 19th. This was practice session 1. It's sprint qualifying, and then sprint race, and then qualifying session. So this was from 12:30 to 1:30. I got here right here. Getting to the track at Circuit Americas was kind of a nightmare the first day, and then sprint qualifying happened later, and then the sprint race was at 1 o'clock, 1 to 1:30. It was 19 laps, or 60 minutes. And then at 5 to 8, it was qualifying for the Grand Prix on Saturday. And then Sunday was race day. So we had there's all these different ancillary races that happen. It's kind of like the Derby. There's all these different races that happen. Like the Porsche Carrera Cup, the Masters Endurance Legends. So this was like older cars, which were really cool. And I will say, if you are a fan of F1 or a newer fan of F1, F1 cars and Indy cars these days are not as loud as they used to be. And it's because the hybrid system, the power unit. But these Masters cars, these older cars, the V8s, the V10s, I don't know if any of them were V10s in the actual race, but those older cars, they are loud, like earplug loud. That's how loud. Like this guy right here. But anyway, Sunday they had the driver's parade, the formation, our F1 hot laps. So this is like all the rich people and the influencers that you see online. And then the national anthem was at 1:45, or 1:44, excuse me. And then at 2 o'clock was the Grand Prix, which is 56 laps or 120 minutes. Look how young Lewis Hamilton looks right there. This is showing the Hall of Fame of the drivers before and then the constructors drivers, so Red Bull, Mercedes, Braun, Ferrari, Renault, McLaren, Williams, Benetton, Lotus, Tyrrell, Marja, Braham. I don't know this. Before you all come for me, I'm gonna look up this. Brabham, BRM, Cooper, Van Wall. Yeah, I'm gonna look up these older ones. So when I went to the Indianapolis Museum, I keep calling it the Indianapolis Museum, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. Lotus had a lot of cars there, so you'll see that in the next video. Well, not the next video, but the video of that coming up. So also, if you are new to F1, it's over an entire weekend, whether it's a sprint race or just a normal weekend. But I don't know about all, but most of them, it's like a full festival, so you will get a concert series attached that will happen at the track. So when I went, it was Sting and Eminem. I did not go to either of them because I don't necessarily care about either of them. Not that they're bad. I enjoy both of their musics, but I was there all day for 3 days, and I really just, they're not artists that I was dying to see. So I went home and I showered and I slept. This gives you the current standings up until Austin. Picture of Max. And then all of the drivers that competed in this race. So this was when Checo was still in Red Bull, when Lewis was still a part of Mercedes, Carlos was still a part of Ferrari. Nothing changed with McLaren or Aston. Esteban was still a part of Alpine. Williams, Franco Colapinto was in Williams, but now he's going to be in Alpine. Yuki, Liam, this was Liam's first race, and I was pissed as fuck. I was so mad because Daniel Ricciardo was let go the race before Austin, and this little fucker came in. I'm not a fan of Liam Lawson. If you are, I'm glad that you have a favorite, but I just don't. I think he's such a douche. I shouldn't put my own personal opinion on there, but he irks me so much. Yeah. Our favorite, I feel like that's America's favorite right there. Is that Kylie Minogue? Yeah, super fan Kylie Minogue waves the checkered flag. Daniel Ricciardo took the fastest lap in Singapore, and the fans voted him driver of the day. That was his last race, and it was a little shady because he took fastest lap, which got an extra point, which he did for his team, but then they fired him, and it took away from McLaren. But this man right here, this is the reason I love Formula One. And he gets so much hate, and I'm probably gonna hate from this video for saying that I love him, but I think he is such a class act, and he drives so well, and I think that the world treats him so poorly. But then people say that he's a crybaby and all this shit, and I'm like, okay, whatever. The internet loves to have their opinions. And clearly this is the end of 2024 season. There was like 3 or 4 races left, I think. And Lando was making his like bid for championship. So there's obviously a lot of pictures of Lando, which everyone is like, oh, Oscar's gonna win, and he might win. He has a very great chance of winning. But I think writing Lando off so quickly is so, I don't know, it's annoying. This just goes through the team. So we had Red Bull, Scuderia, Ferrari. Oh, this is a great picture of Lewis in Mercedes. Aston Martin. QQ with the Visa Cash App Racing Bull. Williams, Alpine, Kick Sauber. Here's an ad for Raceway. IndyCar has a race there. There's, a lot of races there, but it's an Allenberg racing school, so you learn to be a racer. A personal instruction from former FIA Formula One World Championship driver Allenberg at every event. I wonder how much that cost. I went go-karting at COTA the other week, and I got the third best time, so I'm not saying that I should have been a race car driver, but I should have been a race car driver. My parents told me, my parents were like, yeah, we're not paying for that, so you can go play basketball or something. It is expensive, but that's why I play PS5 now. So, here are the stats in numbers. The length of COTA, the Circuit of the Americas, where the United States Grand Prix takes place, is 3.41 miles. The race distance is 191.6 miles, with a total of 56 laps. And the first Grand Prix in Austin at the Circuit of the Americas was in 2012, which, if you know where the United States Grand Prix was held before 2012, leave a comment below. I'm sure we'll get to it soon. So this is the circuit, this is the start-finish line. You come up the elevation to turn 1, come down the hill to turn 2, go to the S's, 3, 4, 5, 6, turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, 11 to 12 is all of sector 2, and this is the first DRS detection zone right here. So you have DRS right here where this dotted line is, and that's a drag reduction system, so it's a straight, so you have that access to overtake, and then you get into sector 3, you get to turn 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then back to the start. So when I watched practice, I sat right here. This is where this little people observer is. I sat right here, and then I had friends that sat right on turn 19. So I had a seat during qualification. And then for the sprint race, I sat right at turn 3 and 4, so right here. And then I want to say I sat right at turn 2 for the race, the Grand Prix, and then I walked my way around to turn 1. And I thought it was a great experience the way I did it. Look at this guy. I don't care if you're straight or gay, bi, pan. This is a beautiful human being. I don't understand how someone can look that pretty, objectively, you know what I mean? I don't get it. This is the People Observer I was talking about. So, it's this weird sculpture, and you can go up there. I did not, because it cost $50 or something like that. I don't need to do that. Oh, this is cool. This is the 1975 US Grand Prix. Winner was Niki Lauda. He lines opposite of Emerson Fittipaldi at Watkins Glen. Long Beach, 1979. Look at these this. Look at these cars. Look at the intake. That's so cool. The rear wing. Ferrari twins Michael Schumacher and Ruben Barrichello tried to stage manage finish in 2002, but failed. Schumacher still thought he had won and waved enthusiastically to the crowd on the first part of the slowing down lap. So, that question I asked earlier, where was it held? Indianapolis, the first FIA Formula One championship round Ferrari entered in the United States, was actually the Indy 500. When the new World Championship introduced in 1950, it consisted of 6 long-established Grand Prix in Europe, and to live up to the world moniker, the Indy 500 in the United States was included in the series. Even though the 500-mile race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway awarded World Championship points, the series had little in common Grand Prix racing in Europe. Indy cars were very different from their F1 counterparts, and no European teams had any interest in taking part in the Indy 500. And this is Charles Leclerc taking pole in Las Vegas last year. So Indianapolis, that's where I'm from, born and raised, and that's where I did a race and I got to run around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I am going to make this video for you about the museum. Indianapolis is an oval, so I grew up watching IndyCar. I grew up watching them go in circles, as they say. It is not NASCAR. If you're a fan of NASCAR, I'm not going to judge you, but I'll judge you a little bit. I think racing is great, so if you are a fan of racing, whatever. But IndyCar does road races, street circuits, and ovals. And ovals are just turning left going in an oval, which actually the IMS is not an oval. It is a rounded rectangle, which, if you want to know more about that, then ask Will Buxton, because he explained it perfectly. Because there's straights, there's 4 straights, there's 2 narrow straights, 2 long straights, and then the corners are rounded. So an oval is just a continuous edge, like there's no corner. So anyway, but there's a very big difference in even the way that Indy cars are set up, like from road circuit to oval super speedway. They look completely different because they have to. But even Lando, I think it was this year, he did an interview and he was like, I have no desire to do that. Beto O'Rourke, he drives for Arrow McLaren, which is McLaren's IndyCar team. He's participated in FP1 for McLaren, and I think he's driven either Oscar or Orlando's car. And I think he really wants to be in F1. I think he would, if he had an opportunity, he would take it. But they have expressed how different it is, and not one is better or worse. It's just very different. The Indy cars have one chassis. Everyone has the same chassis. It's a large chassis, and they have the choice of 2 engines, Chevy or Honda. And then everything else is pretty much up to the team strategy and driver. Whereas in F1, if you're in regulation, you you can have different front wings, you can have different chassis. It like the possibilities are endless. It's like a science project. But yeah, they're very different. IndyCar, I will say, lends itself to more variety of winners because it's really going to come down to strategy, tire strategy, pit stop strategy, driver skill. I mean, Alex Below is like one of the greatest drivers IndyCar has ever seen, and he is currently leading, but he's never won an oval. So it's like it's just different. But this is talking about the car. So the chassis, the safety cell, the cockpit, the steering wheel. So the chassis is like the frame of the car. Like this is the chassis. The safety cell is everything like where the driver sits the cockpit, pretty much. The power unit is the engine, or like what makes it run. So both IndyCar and F1 now have hybrid systems, so that's part of the power unit. You hear a lot about drag and downforce. And then you hear about DRS, which is drag reduction system. And this all has to do with aerodynamic capacity of the car. So downforce is the pressure that pushes the car down. Drag is what slows the car down, essentially. So drag reduction system is when this flap, this rear wing flap flies up. So sometimes, I don't know if you watch and you see the flap go like this, it opens up, so there's a gap for air to flow through, because when it comes down, it's creating drag, and that slows the car down, which is good for like corners. You want the drag to be greater so that the downforce is greater, so that you have more grip on the floor. You're closer to the ground almost. The force is closer to the ground. But then when you're on a straightaway or you're trying to overtake, you want to go faster, so you open that up. It's the same principle as like going like this with your hand outside the car window. When you go like this against the wind, it pushes your hand back, which is drag. When you go like this, it opens up, and the aerodynamics of your hand allow it to lift up. I mean, same thing with an airplane. Okay, so drag talk. So here are the flags. So I didn't know this until this year. A white flag waved at an F1 event is a very slow vehicle on track, whereas a white flag at an IndyCar or even a NASCAR event is the penultimate lap. So they'll wave the white flag before the very last lap. So if there's 100 laps, or let's just say like the Indy 500 is 250 laps, it's 2.5 miles around the track, which equals 500 miles, which is why it's called the Indy 500. So if you're on lap 249 and starting the 250th lap, they're waving the white flag. I didn't know they didn't do that in F1 until this year, because I grew up with an IndyCar, and I'm from the States, so that's what I've always seen. But in F1, the white flag is just a very slow vehicle on track. The yellow and red stripe flag is a danger, or there's a slippery surface. So that goes for both IndyCar and F1. I don't know about NASCAR. I don't want to speak to NASCAR. I have no idea about NASCAR. But F1 and IndyCar, this is the same. And that happens a lot if there's is about to lap you. A black flag is with the car number, and it stops on the next lap. So you're black flagged, you're done. A waved yellow, a single. Waved yellow, overtaking, prohibited, danger, and slow down. A waved yellow, single. Oh, this is the double. I was like, that's the same thing. Double is a great danger and to be prepared to stop. So a double yellow number, or a double yellow flag normally comes out before a red flag. A black flag with an orange disc is your car has a problem and you need to pit the next lap. A red flag means marshals and clerk of the courts called to stop the race or practice. A black and white flag, which I see a lot on PS5 when I'm doing time trials on tracks. I get black and white flagged, meaning my lap does not count because I went beyond track limits. It means non-sporting behavior or warning, but you'll sometimes see this logo, like if you went like beyond track limits or there's some sort of penalty, you'll see that. A green flag is obviously end of danger, the track is clear, or it means go. And then obviously the checkered flag is the end of the race or practice. Penske is American legend racing team. Roger Penske actually owns the Indianapolis Motor Speedway now. There's a whole Penske section. I'm not a huge fan of Penske, but I wouldn't say I'm not a huge fan. Oh, yeah, I would say I'm not a huge fan. I don't actively dislike them. I'm not a huge fan of their drivers currently. I'm more of a Ganassi or Aero McLaren guy. Mario Andretti, I do enjoy. I love Andretti. Marco. Dan Gurney. Just legends. Look at these cars though. I love them. Here we go. F1 at Indianapolis. And Monzopolis. The all-time list of F1 World Championship winners curiously includes Indianapolis 500 victors, even though none drove in an actual Grand Prix. This still all looks the same. The yard of bricks is right here. This is all built up now though, like the pit lane. Well, I think this is the pit lane. Or maybe I don't know. This is all built up now. So there's a huge pylon right here. There's a whole bunch of seating over here. A pagoda right here. But all of this, turn 1 is still the same. And this race that I just ran, I got to run on the speedway. I'll put a video right here if you want to see it. But I come down and I kiss the brakes, and that's a huge tradition of Indianapolis winners at the 500. And I had never done it. I was born and raised there. I lived there for 18 years of my life. Obviously, I go back. This was not the first time I've run this race. I've done this race 4 times now. And I had never kissed the bricks. And so this time, I told myself, I even thought about it because I was like, I'm not running for a PR this time. I got my second best time, which was cool. But I was like, just enjoy it. And I did. And I did basically a burpee and jumped down on the floor and kissed it and got back up. But it was a really great opportunity for me to do that. And I got a really sick picture of it. So. Oh, these fan zones are really cool. Sim racing and obviously team principal like articles. I'm sure this year we'll see Oscar. McLaren, I will always be a McLaren fan. No matter how much I hate them or no matter how much I disagree with them or their calls or whatever, I will always be a McLaren fan. But they really piss me off. They really piss me off all the time. Even when my drivers are winning, even when Oscar's winning, even when Lando's winning, they really piss me off. McLaren may be on the rise, but Brown is not taking anything for granted. Zach Brown, I'm gonna get demonetized I'm not even monetized, but I'll never be monetized if I speak my truth. Ollie Behrman, Esteban, THL. So my favorite IndyCar driver is Alex Palou, and he drives a DHL car. Stars. There's Zach. Zach just like, I don't know what it is about him, but he just gets, it's like, stop. You're pissing me off. That's Joe Jonas, I believe. One of the Jonas brothers. Let's look. Number 2, American singer Joe Jonas, yeah. Tom Brady. Brad Pitt filming the F1 movie. Don't like her. Over the past decade, Circuit of the Americas has firmly established itself. America, Texas, and Austin's back on the Formula One scene. But the Lone Star State already had Grand Prix history. Look, bring the race home. I want this McLaren so bad. I also want this McLaren so bad. I have 2 of these. We built one of them together. But I would love to build these 2 for you. But I'm gonna have to need some sponsorships to get these 2. I think this one's like $200 and some dollars. This one's $80. And in this economy, Paddock Club, Fairmont, Austin. I've been here a couple times. I live like right down the road, actually. Like my house is like, you can't see it from here, but like if you were to like take this building away, I'm probably like right here. Just like north of the campus of UT. So I've been here a couple times. For reasons I won't disclose. Birth of COTA. Lewis Hamilton was the first winner in 2012. Look at those Pirelli cowboy hats. From the start, the drivers loved the track and they absolutely adored the relaxed Austin vibe. And you get this like really awesome picture of the cars coming over the hill with the flags in the background. The Lotus 56B. The chassis was an aluminum monocoque. Engine, Brad and Whitney. Transmission, 4-wheel drive, single speed, direct drive. Tires, Firestone. Maximum power, 500 to 600 horsepower. Just like the 70s, man. They look so cool. Alright, I should say debut Indianapolis 500, 1968. So right around the 70s, like they just look so nostalgic. And then this goes through each team. It has a page, I think. girls just can't look at that too long. I'm so glad that on these 2 pages, Zach Brown is not on either of them. Like, this is the way it should be. Kannapolis. Where is Kannapolis? I'm gonna have to look that up. My phone is not here, but Kannapolis. Where is that? I love James Bowles. Sorry. In Ayrton Senna, a legend. I would love his MP4, the one that we saw over here. Again, why are you looking at me, bro? This one right here. That's his car. I believe it's the MP48. I know it's MP4. I don't know exactly the model, but yeah, iconic. I also started watching the Porsche Carrera Cup this year. Some of the races I don't follow it religiously, but DHL Fastest Lap Award, Daniel Ricciardo, Singapore, his last race. I hope we see him again. He's such a good guy. Okay. Fastest Pit Stop Award, Lando Norris, Singapore, 2.11 seconds. Lap 30. Fastest lap was 1:34.486. Lap 60. And this is the Formula 1 brand. And then this shows you the race calendar and a map of the Circuit Americas. It shows you the grandstands where the general admission spots are, where the restrooms are, where the food is, the paddock, the fan zone, all that good stuff. Make the call. Download the #1 mobile F1 game. F1 Clash. I downloaded this actually, and I was not impressed. I think it's because I'm a fan of F1 on the PlayStation, so I was just kind of like, oh, this is not, I don't have time for this. But I hope you enjoyed this video going through the Formula 1 Pirelli United States Grand Prix official program of the 2024 race. Again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you giving me the space to take some time off to go do what I needed to do and deal with my life. And I just want you to know I'm so very appreciative of you being here. This is a very small channel. I decided to do this because I wanted to do ASMR that involved racing and the things that I loved and have and wanted to talk about. So you truly being here means a lot, and I know that like every YouTuber says that, but I wouldn't even consider myself a YouTuber. I'm just making these videos for you. So commenting, liking, sharing this. We're at 60 subscribers. Like, I would love to get to 100 soon, just so that we build a community. I also am thinking about making a YouTube, or not YouTube, Instagram page, just so that it could be a little bit more connected. But I'm gonna leave the video here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support. I hope that you were able to cross that line and the finish line. Wow, I messed that up.